This is the examination of the hidden human condition.
You're listening to the Hidden Killers Podcast.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Bruschi.
Former Centerville Mayor Jay Edward Ostrem, who's 64. He's facing 3 counts of first-degree murder after allegedly killing 3 men the other night. This is happening in South Dakota, by the way. The incident occurred shortly before 10 p.m. in Centerville, approximately 40 miles south of Sioux Falls. The victims were identified as Paul Frankus, 26, Zachary Frankus, 21, and Timothy Richmond, 35. Why did he kill these people? Well, according to a probable cause affidavit, Zachary Frankus made a frantic 911 call to report a shooting in the 1000 block of Main Street. During the call, Zachary mentioned he had been shot and subsequently fell silent. The South Dakota Game, Fish, and Parks Conservation Officer was the first to arrive at the scene. While waiting for backup, the officer observed Ostrem exiting the home's garage. Despite initial commands to stop, Ostrem only complied after the officer approached him a second time. Ostrem informed the officer he had a gun in his pocket. Authorities discovered an AR-style rifle on the ground beside Ostrem, a .380 pistol in his pants pocket, and several shotgun and rifle shell casings on him. Ostrem had blood on his hands and smelled of alcohol. I thought he was going to say that there was an AR-style rifle in his pocket. Like, what kind of pockets do you have?
Big pockets.
And it was like the 90s, like the Jinko jeans. I remember those giant jeans where like the legs are the size of waists. Like, you could probably do that. Inside the home, officers found that 3 men were dead from the gunshot wounds. Ostrem's wife told investigators that on May 23rd, Paul Frankus had allegedly sexually assaulted her while they were drinking at her home. She reported the incident to Ostrem on Monday evening, allegedly prompting him to leave their home in a rage. She claimed she did not know Ostrem's intentions or whether he was armed. The South Dakota Attorney General's office issued a press release confirming Ostrem's arrest and assuring the public that there was no further threat. Ostrem is being held without bond at a county jail. Ostrem has a controversial history, by the way, in Centerville. He previously served as the town's mayor and was a Turner County Sheriff's deputy. During his tenure as mayor, he was sued for sexual harassment by the city's police chief, a case that was settled 2 years later. So it sounds like they have an issue there with sex and sexual assault, and a lot of that in this little community.
There's a story here that's not really clear to me.
Okay.
Because I do find it interesting. I don't want to be victim blaming or anything like that. But I do think it's weird that her and one of these 20-something-year-old guys are drinking at her home, it says, which I assume is their home, her and her husband's. But I think that's kind of interesting that you would be just drinking. And this guy couldn't be totally stable. You'd have to see, I don't think you would ever see indications of him murdering 3 people. But if that guy could just, after hearing that information, arm himself, walk across the street or wherever, it sounds like it's really close.
Yeah.
And murder 3 people. I think there might be indications in the past that this guy is a hothead or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and
so I just think it's weird that she'd be drinking in the home with somebody and then say, oh, yeah, by the way, the guy was sexually harassing me or
assault.
Tried something. I'm not sure. Yeah, an assault.
And there's not details on what that is, like what the action actually was as far as assault. You know, did he rape her, or was it like he grabbed? I kind of
read one story where he was kind of grinding on her.
Okay,
it wasn't a rape, but
yeah, it's sexual assault, definitely.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, okay, what's going on here?
2 of the people were innocent.
They had nothing to do with it. Yeah.
So why does he go across the street? Like, I don't get, like, I'm going to go kill this person for doing that.
Yeah.
I would be like, we have to go report this. I mean, he was the mayor. He was a sheriff's deputy. But then that makes me think, is he one of those guys in a small town that the laws and the rules don't apply to him?
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm wondering. We're going to handle it our way.
The sexual harassment suit against the police chief was settled, which makes me think there was definitely some truth to that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The whole thing, I feel like there's something we don't know. But even if he was really angry at the one guy, why kill two innocent people?
Unless
they were there.
I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering if there was something going on with the wife and the neighbor and it.
He's 64. Like, is the wife around his age?
Yeah.
20-something-year-old guys.
There's a lot of questions here. And someone who clearly lost their shit. And.
Well, and they said he smelled alcohol. So my guess is he was shit-faced.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The wife might have been drinking again with him, and that came out.
And by the way, and I'm going to go take care of this right now. And alcohol
he's going to be in prison for the rest of his life.
Well, and probably should be for what he did.
Exactly. He should be in prison, but he didn't need to. They could have addressed this in a way that works within the system. He knows the system.
Having low ability to cope with information, having access to firearms readily when you're drunk, that's never a good combination. And it very much played out here. I think as would almost be expected, if you put all those ingredients together in a bottle and shake them up, this is what happens.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.